Hey family, good morning to you on a Sunday morning. We are looking at, actually, let me just mute the sound here. My apologies here. This one's going to be really short. I'm not going to go crazy here. July 13th, Sunday, right? Sunday morning. The Sunday message, we're going to have to talk about the word woke. We're going to have to talk about the word aware. And again, this is going to be real quick. I'm not, we're not going to belabor the point because we've already done it enough, but we're going to use a real-time example. So the movie Superman, right? True justice and the American way. Family, when you look up the word woke, okay? Slang term for wake, right? Or awake, okay? When you look up the word awake, literally like, and again, giving you just, we talked about this before, but I'm just going to give this as a setup for certain scenarios. This is going to have spoilers in it, by the way, as far as the movie's concerned. So, because we got to put this to bed, family. People, unfortunately, I think, are stuck on the Zack Snyder universe. Hard for them to accept something new. This is normally what happens in life anyway. Again, because we as people, and again, this to each their own. So don't leave the defense at home. Okay. Some people, we understand, they just like a thing that they like. If that's the case, then just say that. Okay, when we're talking about all these different movies, because us comic book fans out here, we're gonna be the death of these movies. I have to be. For a group of people who in the beginning was like, "Yo, we want the thing." Maybe we weren't paying attention to the source materials that was out at the time that we saying we want the thing. So when you're talking about the Avengers thing, we get it. Y'all want Steve Rogers. Y'all want Thor Odinson. Y'all want Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, right? Okay. Y'all was cool with Black Widow because who don't love a white woman in a good latex suit, right? We was even cool with Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Bunch of aliens, because let's be honest, right? They're aliens, aren't they? Drax is an alien. We know Groot is. I am Groot, right? Gamora is. Nebula is, who also joins the... See, again, comic book history, I think, is missing here as well. Peter, that we know is human. Also, you find out that his pop's ego, because he, had some... Now this goes beyond interracial or intercultural, as I say it, right? This is like intergalactic relationships, right? So a human having sex in the form of but again, see, we can accept the Mother Mary story, but when it comes to stuff like this, this is too far fetched now. So Ego, and as we find out, right, Ego and Peter's mama hooking up and having Peter, so now he's a hybrid, all that, right? So we got aliens. Okay, we got aliens that we love, and we all dancing with Groot at the end of Guardians of Galaxy 1 while they playing Michael Jackson in the background, right? Oh, baby, give me one more chance, right? We doing all that, right? And that might have sounded off key, whatever. But at the end of the day, now we come up fast forward now to see again the same bias that was in the comic books by the time the 2007s and the 2010s roll around and all that. They start flipping up some things, okay, which ain't no different than what happened in the comics in the beginning. Before there was no comics, they just flipped up what was there, right? So when you go all the way back to Superman in the 30s, fighting against evil and injustice, I know it was a white man doing it, but he was still fighting against the crime leader, the gang leader, right? Got involved in some war discussions. So how could it be woke when Superman is trying to stop or stopped a battle between people? And this is what was interesting with the conversation with Lois and Clark. While she's interrogating from a different person, meaning to do that type of thing, but you could technically take it as an interrogation. She's asking him questions, though, family, which most people don't like. It's fine by me if you want to ask me some questions. I've had critiques on my love for this movie. Again, if a person wants to walk out, family, after the first 5 minutes, you go and walk out there. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but at the end of the day, This is what the comics are, family, right? And certain people don't like that. Nobody want to see Wiccan and Hulkling get married in a mark. They don't want to see homosexual stuff. But guess what, family? That's what happens. You don't like it. We got neck muscles, right? We got hips and legs and joints that move and turn. Just turn on and leave. If you don't want to see half nude people, go somewhere else. But only when massa is involved would you make someone do a thing. That's where this comes down to. And we can hop, skip, and jump over the topic as much as we want to. Okay. Crypto saving Superman's life happens in the comics. So why would we have a problem with that? The dog was listen, can we give our canine friends part of the love? We can't do that no more, can we? Right? Lois and Superman's relationship, we all know. Nobody needs a whole huge backstory now of some of these characters. We already get it. Right? So what they did in the beginning of it, showing the whole centuries and then decades and all that. Listen, Superman's been established. That's all you need to know. Okay, cool. This is how they did it. Again, if you wanna have issues over how they did that part, okay, but that's how they've been doing DC from the jump, right? Again, everything after the 80s and 90s, it got a little funky. I don't know. We gotta have a little bit more levels of grace here. Him fighting the kaiju. Listen. So, but can we give creative expression anymore? Listen, we get it with James Gunn and his offensive tweets, and we, again, justice is a whole other thing. We'll leave that alone, all right? Because again, folks are thinking this thing is based off of some like holy principles, and it's not. But he's around. He's making these things. He already knows the mess he made, so he's gonna have a movie about aliens, family. If he has been accused of making fun of different cultures and whatever, then what do you think gonna be in his movies? Right? He gonna do the opposite. There ain't nothing wrong with. So if a person really don't go to the movie, right? Just don't go to the movie, family. If that's where you are in your mind, then it ain't for you. Okay? There ain't nothing wrong with stopping war. Lord knows if we'd have stopped a lot of these wars, maybe we'd be speaking a different language than English right now. But I digress, right? So, see, there's the problems that people have. Lex Luthor, the way Lex was, you know what I'm saying? The way the Engineer was. Engineer is just a spinoff. That villain is just a spinoff in the comics. Again, we have to have some comic book history here. Same thing with Ultraman, okay? Just a spinoff of what was in the comics. Right? That's what they're going to do. Everybody ain't going to do everything verbatim. Listen, for the folks who get this mad at the Superman movie, was you that mad with the Disney trilogy of Star Wars? I know we weren't. Family, people was loving that. Look at the ratings. People were loving that thing. And that movie was trash. We didn't see anything with Luke Skywalker's powers at all. They used it as a bait and switch. That's what you call a bait and switch. Oh, you going to get this? No, you're not. You're getting this. Listen, y'all. I don't know what to say. But we're going to say this. This right here that we said for a few minutes is what we're going to say. That's what I got for y'all today, family. Again, if you don't love the movie, we get it, man. But shout out to Superman. What dude is doing to DC universe, at least for this movie. We the whole thing with Guy Gardner flipping off people using his powers and all that kind of thing. I mean, that was cool, right? So you love it in Deadpool, but you hate it in Superman. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out the mental here, y'all. But again, we readily understand, to each their own, right? So thank y'all for walking this little short road with me. We will talk to y'all soon. Happy Sunday. And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.